The Senior Trophy, the fastest bikes of the day. The Senior Trophy out on the track at the moment, and this is race number 13. So we're into the third round of racing for the day. An 8-lap race with Rogan Chandler on pole, Hayden Fitzgerald, Malcolm Belsky and Ashton Hughes. And Ashton Hughes gets a flyer at the start. He's just quick at starting, this young lad, but it is a drag race to turn one. I think Ashton Hughes has got his nose in the front, but it is going to be Rogan Chandler up. Hello! Rogan sits up. I don't know how that didn't turn into custard. Rogan sits up, runs it wide, and luckily didn't clip anyone else out in the front. That was a huge moment for Rogan. He controlled it, but it was all about the other bikes being able to get round him. So I tell you what, I'm going to go home and look up the Ctas the footage there. It's probably not available for about a day or two. Of course, it is live at the moment. It takes Grant Collingwood of Ctas text to web systems and live timing a little bit of time to get home and get it all uploaded. But I'm certainly going to have a look at that one close up because that was a big moment. And Rogan Chandler now back into fourth place, the last year's New Zealand 125 Grand Prix champion. He's right on the tail of Malcolm Belsky, but Malcolm Belsky's riding that ZX10 so well, the 134 machine, the Zip plumbing machine, and the superior power down the back straight just gives him a little bit more of an edge there as he lies in third place. But Chandler's got to fight back here. Hayden Fitzgerald will be the hardest man to pass. It's going to be hard to get past Belsky, Malcolm Belsky and Ashton Hughes as well. Ashton in second place with, I think, Ryan O'Neill in the number 81 machine there in fifth spot there with him behind him. It's Jesse Wickie, Neville Gibbs, Zurin Wickie, Michael Sorensen, Jeff Jelly, Jeff Crute, Florent Buren, Casey Johnson and Esmond Williams. Here comes that ZX10, mate. That Belsky's firing it round there. Rogan Chandler got through either in or out of Toyota. I was looking at the timing screen so I couldn't quite pick it up, but Belsky on fire out of that right-hander, out of the Toyota corner, and harder to push a big bike round there. And I tell you what, hard to get round Rogan Chandler, who is a top New Zealand competitor in several classes. Rides this bike here, the 675 owned by Gerard Domson, rides a Norton Commando owned by him. I saw him racing a Yamaha R3, two different Yamaha R3s at the New Zealand Superbike Championships this year, as well as the Manx Norton. He raced and crashed up at Pukekohe Classics as well in the first weekend of February, and you can obviously see most of my life has been motorcycle racing this year. This is my 13th weekend away, and I've seen so much racing this year. I've had enough racing for a wee while, but we're back here doing it for the Vic Club. And Belsky comes back through into third place. Shunts Ashton Hughes back into fourth place with Fitzgerald on a flyer there, a 109.635. He's opened up his lead, but the battle is on there. Chandler's through into second place. He did this a wee while ago. Belsky's not given up, and of course Ashton Hughes sitting on there. So I'm really impressed with the way Malcolm Belsky is chucking this ZX10 round, because traditionally a 675 or a 600cc Supersport type bike would be easier to get through the infield, and the big ZX10 would have the advantage, particularly on the back straight and sometimes on the front straight. But Belsky is just shoving this thing through on the infield, and you can see him going into Higgins as I speak. He's around about the apex here. He's on the bright green Kawasaki in third spot. Out in the front it is still Hayden Fitzgerald from the Naki there on the number 4 bike. We go back to Rogan Chandler there running the number 15. He's run that for a number of years. And of course Malcolm Belsky, as I mentioned. Ashton Hughes looking down there a wee way back, and where are we? All the bikes coming through the start-finish line there. 5 laps to go of this 8-lap race. We're going to look out for Ryan O'Neill. Ryan O'Neill has coming onto the front straight. Ryan, where is Ryan in that? He's got pushed down a couple of spots there. In fact, Ryan O'Neill is out. Have we got a yellow flag out somewhere? But Ryan O'Neill is out of the action. He's dropping off the screen there somewhere along the line. So cannot see any yellow flags out there. Just scanning to every point. I can see a bike possibly parked up on the infield. That'll be Ryan O'Neill with something going wrong with his bike rather than a crash. He's on the inside of the hairpin. So let's concentrate what's happening out on the track again. We go, the same 4 bikes are out in the top 4 positions, having their own little spread out battle. But so that casts our eye back to the centre straight with Jesse Wickie, Neville Gibbs and Zurin Wickie. I think Jesse has been passed by Zurin, and excuse me, that is Neville Gibbs that's got pushed back to 7th place. We have to confirm that with the time. I'm just going to turn off and have a cough, I think. Sorry about that, folks. Right, let's, while I was having that and a bit of a sip on my Coca-Cola, I've noticed the timing system has brought up Rogan Chandler pumped round there in a 109.202 and Hayden Fitzgerald a 109.402, so 0.2 of a second in it. Remember, Rogan Chandler had that big moment going into turn one and pushed him back to fourth place. Okay, the gap was 0.6 flat across the start-finish line. Chandler is 0.2 quicker in that last lap than Hayden Fitzgerald. We've got 4 laps to go, so there might be a change of position, and no bigger scalps in New Zealand just about than you've got out in this front here. Hayden Fitzgerald, many times competitor at the New Zealand Superbike, Formula Superlight, former Superlight and Formula 3 New Zealand champion, incidentally on the same bike as father, won that championship on. That's the only time it's ever been done in history, to my knowledge, a father and son win the same championship series years apart on the exact same machine. So these are seasoned riders, very clever riders, and the gap is now 0.198 between first and second as they go into turn one, and yeah, about 0.4 of a second in between them in their last lap time. So that battle's on. Tight racing out here at the front. A lonely ride there for Malcolm Belsky there in third place. He's doing all right. He's a third fastest man on the track, running around in the mid to high, well, the high 109s, a 109.966. So that's a massive ride from Malcolm Belsky. Ashton Hughes back into the 11s at the moment. It was in the 10s on the 92 machine. So my eyes are over on the back straight there shortly. And now into Higgins. We've got Hayden Fitzgerald, R6 want to be a big bike. That's what it's listed here in the program as, or on the timing screen. The battle is on there. We've got 3 laps to go. Hayden Fitzgerald, not the fastest man on the track. Rogan Chandler is, but Rogan Chandler is sitting there in second place, eyeing him up. Have to have a look a bit further back. These bikes are coming across the start-finish line now. I'm looking at the lap times, 0.198. I'd say that's opened up to about 2.298 closer. 289, how good am I now? 289 of a second between first and second, but Chandler was still the quickest man as they both slowed up in that last lap. No back markers to come across, so they're both slowing each other up, riding defensive lines. So let's go a bit further back. The Malcolm Belsky, Ashton Hughes, third and fourth have gone through, and here we've got Zurin Wiki comes through on the white bike, followed by Jesse Wiki and in fact, no, Neville Gibbs had got back up there past Jesse Wiki. Neville Gibbs wearing the multicoloured leathers going into the driver quarter, and Jesse Wiki there on the number 19 bike on the multicoloured Suzuki there in behind him. So I've got to find out where these lead bikes are. There they are, the fastest bikes on the track going into the Higgins corner there, and maybe 6-7 bike lengths between them. Here we go, the charge is on from Rogan Chandler. Gets that drive out of Toyota, drives down the back straight. They're evenly matched for speed. No, Chandler's that little bit quicker. It's going to be a braking duel, but Fitzgerald on the inside just takes it that little bit later. The white flag is out, coming out for these riders. It's not already out. Well, it is already out, but it's first of the time for those 2 riders. And in terms of lap times, are so closely matched with Rogan Chandler just being that little bit quicker. So where is the pass going to happen? Is it going to happen? I know Hayden's been around racing for I don't know how many years, but Rogan Chandler's done the last 5 or 6 seasons and done pretty much more racing than Fitzgerald has in the last season. But as I say, Hayden's lost none of his style that he's had, or his aggression. Is just such a smooth rider, not often mentioned by the commentators a lot, and it's not because of his ability. It is because of his ability. The fact that he's not a spectacular rider, just gets out and does the job and does it so smoothly, whereas other riders with a bit more bounce and buck about their game seem to pick up a bit more about the commentators. I think Rogan Chandler overcooked it going into Higgins and lost this race by that. It was still Hayden Fitzgerald all the way through, but I think Rogan just went in a little bit hard and had to sit the bike up a little bit more to get round that corner, and that's going to hand the race win, well-deserved race win, to Hayden Fitzgerald. Hayden deserved that one. He run it from almost start to finish, if not start to finish, but definitely. Malcolm Belsky, a 134 coming through. Is that rain coming through, or is that just... No, it's just the reflections on the windscreen. So Malcolm Belsky, there goes Ashton Hughes to take 4th place. I'm going to have to leave because